Hi, my name is John with WM Cutlery, and this is the Cutting Edge Knife Talk. And in my last video I uploaded, I had talked about why you would choose a specific pattern of knife for use or to build. And I have some examples here with some of my templates that I use for making knives that I would like to kind of go over real quick in this video. One of the examples I have here is my Hunting Buddy skinning knife. This is actually a 1095 knife blank that I made for someone, but I wasn't happy with the flat grind and the angle that I had ground it at. So I ended up starting over with a new blank, but this is a perfect profile of the knife. So I just spray painted it black so it wouldn't rust, and I just kept it as a template. And as you can see from the shape of the whole knife, it's not very big at all, but the handle is really ergonomic and comfortable in the hand, especially with scales on it. And the blade has a nice big belly. It's a wide, kind of stubby blade, but the customer I built this knife for, he's already used it 3 times with 3 deer. And he says he's not only had no problem using it throughout the entire process of processing his deer, that he hasn't had to sharpen it yet either, which is pretty awesome. And so this is an example of like how I would build a knife specific to skinning. It's a hunting knife too, but I built it specifically more as a custom skinning knife. Then another example I have here as a pattern is one of my older patterns for my Scavenger BCK bushcraft knife. You can see it's a very different profile. And this knife, I've built a couple of these already for a customer, and I have one myself that I own myself. It's more like a bird and trout pattern, and it's worked really well for some light bushcrafting and things along those lines, and could be considered a hunting knife as well. And these are just a couple examples of very different patterns, which is why I say think about what you're going to use the knife for first, and then that'll help you kind of decide where you're going with it. Let me move these out of the way. Here's a pattern for one of my Wharncliffs, my swayback Wharncliffe. And this little EDC knife lends itself extremely well for cutting boxes and slicing things, opening packages, cutting paracord, various little tasks and stuff. So this is a great little design for cutting and getting into things real tight and opening them up. And here's another pattern for a miniature bird and trout that I make. This is also one that I had an issue with the flat grind, and I decided to keep it for a pattern. This is 80 CRV, high carbon steel. But I decided to keep the pattern because the profile, everything's correct, except when I ground it, I cut too far into the spine. I was at the wrong angle. So rather than just toss it, it's like, well, I successfully made one of these. I had to start over and figured it out. Because it's a small knife with such a narrow blade, the smaller they are, the harder they seem to be to grind really well. But this is a great little knife. The one that I made successfully cuts really well, would lend itself really good for probably a lot of tasks, EDC tasks, but it's just a great little hunting knife, and could be worn as a neck knife. It doesn't weigh that much when in its completed state, and really sharp, cut really good, and so this is a wonderful little burden trout, or miniature burden trout. And I'll probably show some more knives in a future video. Some different patterns that kind of help you, the new knife maker, decide why he would choose a pattern or design a pattern of his own for a specific task. And I want to say thanks to everyone who watches my videos, and subscribe and like the video if you would, please. And there will be a link in the description below on how you can contact me should you take interest in any of these knives you may see. And I appreciate your time, and always be safe in the knife shop. Again, this is John with WM Cutlery, and I thank you so much. Bye-bye.